guys, Jeannine here with another Scream video for you. As you know, I'm doing a bunch of fun Scream content on the channel because I'm just so excited for Scream 6 and I want to talk about these movies and this franchise that I love so very much. So today we are going to be getting into the Easter eggs and things I noticed in Scream 4. Easter egg videos for 1 through 3 are up on the channel now, so check those out. But today we are talking Scream 4 and all the little things I noticed in this movie. So let's get into it. So skipping over the very meta opening, we get into the kills of Jenny and Marnie, and Jenny's kill feels very familiar. She ends up in the garage and Ghostface does close the door on her. So not through a doggy door or a kitty door, it's her getting crushed by the door, but an obvious nod to Tatum's death. We also get another kind of sick nod to Tatum at the Stab-a-thon. If you look in the background, you can actually see a little prop of a mannequin sticking through a pet door. And just a continuity thing, I've heard some people kind of debate. They kind of talk about Scream 5 not really keeping up the continuity in terms of what they talked about in Scream 4 when it comes to the stab films, because, you know, they talk a lot about in Scream 5 how the stab movies, all of them had Sidney in them.
Anyone could have gotten that one right. Sidney's in every movie but the last
and people
one.
kind of talk about, well, in Scream 4, they said after the third one, Sidney's not supposed to be in them anymore. But in kind of watching it back and listening to what she actually says, Jenny says that Sidney threatened to sue if they continue to use her story. So then after that, they just started making stuff up. So she doesn't say that Sidney's not in the other movies. So it's just they don't use Sidney's actual story after the first 3 movies.
I thought you said Stab was based on true story. The first 3, the original trilogy, is based off of Sidney Prescott, but then she threatened to sue them if they used her story, so then they just started making stuff up. Stab 5 has time travel, which is by far the worst.
After the first 3 movies, Sidney as a character may still appear in them, but they don't use her story. They're just making shit up. So in case there is a continuity thing that people kind of think is inaccurate, in Scream 4 she doesn't specifically say Sidney's not in the other films. She just says that she didn't want her story used after the first 3. She threatened to sue them, so they just started making stuff up. So she never straight up says Sidney's not in the other films. So there's that. So another Easter egg is Jill getting sliced in the arm, very much like Derek in Scream 2. I think that was a thing they used to build up the red herring aspect of Derek. And now it's here kind of doing the same thing, but the person it's happening to is actually one of our killers. And we actually will see this again in Scream 5, so I will get into that in that Easter egg video. So they do mention that Olivia's character is afraid of Sidney and calls her the Angel of Death, and that prompts Kirby to say a line like, you know, fear the Reaper, which is definitely a reference to Don't Fear the Reaper, the song that was played when Sidney and Billy shared the moment in her room.
She don't want to come up? She fears the Reaper.
And that kind of also being a reference to Annie and Laurie in the car driving around in the first Halloween movie. So we do get a nod to that familiar song.
What's the pumpkin for? I brought it for Tommy. I figured carving a jack-o'-lantern would keep him occupied.
When Sidney goes to the hospital and gets checked out by one of the doctors is actually credited as Dr. Orth. So he is presumably the father of Scream's first on-screen victim, Stephen Orth. Then, of course, we have Trevor kind of coming through Jill's window, very much similar to Billy coming through Sidney's, and I love that kind of she looks at him and kind of sees this familiarity with that, and Jill is probably eating that up, that like Sidney sees so much of herself in her. So just a fun kind of paralleled scene with Trevor coming through the window.
What?
I think you just, you remind me of, me.
If we look in the hallways at school, when Jill and Kirby are talking, we actually see a bust of our dearly departed Principal Hembry.
I think Charlie likes you.
And I like him.
Principal Hembry bust is there in the hall. They very quickly pan by it in the hallway there. So a fun little nod to Henry Winkler's dearly departed character. Then also, I think a lot of people have picked up on this at this point, that Trevor's outfit that he's wearing in the finale of the film is very similar to Mr. Prescott's outfit, the green shirt, the jean jacket. So he's pretty much wearing an identical outfit to Neil Prescott in the end of this film. Then we also finally get to see who directed the Stab movie. We see Robert Rodriguez's name come up on the screen at the Stabathon for directing the first Stab movie. At the Stabathon, we also see some fun people dressed up like Gail and Dewey. So these kids are kind of so far removed from these events that they can just kind of cosplay as these people. So yeah, definitely a fun thing kind of happening in the background of the Stabathon. The name of Perkins, Anthony Anderson's character, is actually Anthony Perkins. So he has the name of the Psycho actor. So many Psycho nods in this series, throughout this series. So we get another one with Officer Perkins' first name being Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates, who was perfectly quoted by Billy in the first Scream movie.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
No, Billy!
Anthony Perkins, Psycho. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Just the last thing, the obvious nod to, again, to Stephen Orth in how Charlie is tied in the chair with the tape. He's identically set in that chair, very much like Stephen Orth. So just a nod to that very famous opening scene in the first Scream movie. I actually love that little Steve is not forgotten. He's our first on-screen kill, and he gets 2 little nods in this movie. So you will be remembered, Stephen Orth. Those are all the things I noticed in Scream 4. If there's anything else you picked up on, things that I didn't catch, I would love to hear them in the comments below. So please leave a comment. I would love to check those out. And also please like, share, subscribe, do all of the things. Hit the notification bell if you want to be the first to know when I post some more fun Scream content. We also have some other great things you can check out on the channel, so please subscribe for that. And thank you for watching another Scream video, another video on this channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.